So I went and skied up to my little cabin, spent the night up there, and then skied up this mountain. So this is from my parents' house. There's our little fire pit, and then if you look in here, this is actually this mountain right here is the mountain that we skied up to, is this point right there. And my cabin is right kind of down here, just over this ridge, just barely out of sight. So that's where we were going. We started off kind of hiking through the snow. You guys can totally skip this part if you're not interested in this, by the way. You can fast forward. But we started off hiking in the snow. We had to hiking on dirt. We had to hike on dirt for about a mile to get to the snow because it was so melted out. It's been pretty warm here. But eventually we hit snow. This is my friend and old roommate, Steve, who also teaches physics. And then eventually we got to the cabin. So Steve and my buddy Weston, me with some kind of booger on my nose, hanging out at the cabin, hung out on the deck, had a fun time. Kind of spent the rest of the afternoon up there, just hanging out, enjoying the sunshine, the clouds. Made a little fire in the snow, which was hard to do, but we did it. And this is kind of the view from town, and got some beautiful views of the mountains up here. A bunch of little cabins up there, and then we actually climbed this mountain up here to this point. So that was where we were going to. And then, so the next day we set out, beautiful day, kind of nice clear blue skies. This was just a pretty view. This was the mountain we were going to, but it's a very pretty one next door that I've also skied to the top of this guy, kind of cool. But really pretty day, kind of set out skinning up in our skis up the mountain. Here I am, here's my buddy Weston, all in high spirits. Look at how happy we are. This was early in the hike when we were less miserable. But carrying on. Kind of walked up, we went from the aspen forest, and then now we're into spruce fir forests, so more like kind of similar to pine trees, but not quite the same. And we saw a little grouse there. This little bird kind of came out and said hello to us, so that was kind of cool. And then kept going up. Here I am pausing to look introspectively up at the lodgepole pines and think about how tired I was at this point in time in the hike. But eventually we broke through past the trees up to timberline. Just beautiful snowfields on top of on the mountain there. And we were heading towards, the peak is actually over this. This is what we'd call a false summit, where it looks like the top, but it's not. But we were kind of headed up that way. First to this little ridge, so we kind of were skinning up there. That's a view kind of backwards down towards town. My cabin's way down here. So kind of cool. And then, as my buddy Steve, got kind of steep there. We were headed up towards this point, and then we're going to head over towards that ridge line. And we got up to this point, and this is what we saw, and I want to kind of talk about this for a second, because this is what we'd call a cornice, is the term, and it's just where the snow kind of blows over this ridge, and it all kind of piles up on this other side, and you can see all these cornices here, and this is probably 15 to 20 feet, probably 20 feet of snow out there, and it falls down on the other side to just these steep slopes, and you've got to be careful. You don't want to step on one of these or go out skiing on one of them, because they're not super stable, and if they break with that added weight on them, you die. So we kind of stayed well away from that, and kind of kept hiking along that ridge. There I am, there's Steve, in good spirits because we were close to the top, or so we thought. Then we crest and we see we've got a little bit further to go. That's the actual top up there. This is my buddy Weston, way up ahead, just this huge expanse of snow. It was really pretty up there. And eventually we got to the top, and we're just treated with these views. This doesn't even capture them all. There's more mountains kind of over this little hump here, another mountain range. But you can see all these mountains, like 360-degree views all around you. You can see all these cornices, all these high peaks. And we actually kind of ski down this way, down to the right here. And you can see these are the mountains that are above Aspen. Really pretty stuff. We skied down this little gully here. That's Red Table Mountain, also very beautiful. That's that mountain that I took that picture of earlier that I've also skied. Very pretty. So yeah, just pretty stunning. Here I am looking kind of introspectively out at the mountains, just enjoying the beauty, and the snow. Is a really fun trip. And there we all are, just kind of happy as can be. Bunch of crazy skiing people. So